Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today, well, we're looking at something that's not altogether old in reality. However, it is based on the vintage 1989 Doctor Who television series, which starred Sylvester McCoy as the 7th Doctor, along with Sophie Aldred as Ace. Now, this was a fan-produced annual released by Terraqueous Distributors in 2020, and their idea behind these annuals was to fill the gaps where annuals were missing from the original classic Doctor Who run. Now, Doctor Who ran originally, as you know, from 1963 to 1989. There were 7 actors that played the part during that time. So you had William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Tom Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, and finally Sylvester McCoy when the series closed in 1989. Of course, there was also the movie in 1996 starring Paul McGann before the series was brought back to life again back in 2005. But the Doctor Who annuals, well, they ran originally from 1966, which was the first William Hartnell ones. There was 2 in the Hartnell era, 66 and 67. And then Patrick Troughton era, we had 3, which was 68, 69 and 70. John Pertwee era, we had 4, which was 71. There wasn't one in 72, 73, 74 and 75. Tom Baker, we had 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81 and 82. The 82 one also featured Peter Davison. So Peter Davison, then obviously the 82. Then we had 83 and 84. We had Colin Baker, 85 and 86. And that brought the classic Doctor Who annuals to an end. So there was a few missing in the gaps. There was the 1965 first Doctor Who annual that was missing. There was a 1972 John Pertwee 3rd Doctor annual that was missing. There was the 1987 Colin Baker, 1987 and 1988 Colin Baker ones that were missing. And of course the 1989 Sylvester McCoy one that was missing. And that is exactly the annual we are looking at today. The fan-produced 1989 Doctor Who annual, which was never produced by World Distributors and BBC. Okay, so this is the annual in front of us. And there you can see an image of Sylvester McCoy as he appeared as the 7th Doctor. To his right, you can see Sophie Aldred, who played Ace. And to the left of him, you can see the TARDIS. And he's holding his trademark umbrella with the question mark handle. And it says the Unofficial Doctor Who Annual 1989. And you've got the Terraqueous Distributors logo at the top left-hand corner. Okay, that's the front of the annual. Let's just spin it round to the back. And on the back, well, there's nothing there, but it says Who, and you've got the TARDIS image in the middle of the Who, of the H. Let's just have a very quick look at the spline, and it says the Doctor Who Annual 1989 Terraqueous, and you've got the logo at the bottom there. Okay, that's the covers. Let's open her up and let's have a look what she's got inside. Okay, so I've opened the front of the annual, and this is the first page. You have to bear with me because this annual has never been read before, and the pages are, well, they're trying to close because it's never been opened. So I'm just going to have to hold the pages open. So here we go. So it says the Unofficial Doctor Who Annual 1989, and it's got 400 grow tits, whatever that is, whatever currency that is, I do not know. Anyway, on to the next page, and we have the image of Sylvester McCoy, and that's from the opening scene of the intro of his era. And at the very top, you've got all the editors. So you've got Mark Wargum, proofreader Rob Nisbet, page designer and layouts Mark Wargum, cover illustration Alistair Pearson, Unofficial Doctor Who 1989 logo design Justin Christensen, Vortex Swirl Paul Coop. Mags was created for The Greatest Show in the Galaxy by Stephen Wyatt. Special thanks to Alistair Pearson, Chris McCauley, Jessica Martin, Stephen Wyatt, Andrew Cartmel, Karina Ducci Howard, and Neil Kennedy. Digital restoration of Alistair Pearson's illustrations, David Lovell. And it's copyright, it's 1980 there, by Terraqueous Distributors. All right, no, it's not. It's 2020. Beg your pardon. All rights were reserved throughout the world. Published in Great Britain by Terraqueous Distributors, PO Box, and so on. So, not that Lever Street, Manchester. Unofficial and not by arrangement with the British Broadcasting Company. This is not for profit publication. No copyright infringement is intended, and it's printed in England. So the stories we've got: Every Doc Has His Day, The Enemy Within, Deep Fear, Tiptoes, Lessons Learned, Between a Rock and a Hard Place, The Powerful Professor of Zoo, Thread of Life, Family and Space, One Chance Out, Hello Sweet Tea, Temporal Shadows, Palace of Bones, Dead Man's Hand, Campfire Burning, Ask Harry, Doctor and Nurse, The Invasion of Randall, Polybius, Was Tis, Hunter and Hunted, A Mag's Tale. And features and games, you got End Papers, Contents Page, Foreword, A Castle Fit for a Rani, Wonders in the Fourth Dimension, Wicked Tales, Paradise Towers, Cleaning Unit Anatomy, One Doctor, Seven Men, Puzzling Planets, Other Worlds, Beyond the Annuals, Colouring Book Page, Here by Dragons, Keys in Time, Mystery Message, The Master of Riddles, aka the Doctor Doctor Die, The Labyrinths of a Landrax, Funnies, Mags and Me, An Interview with Stephen Wyatt, Poster Page, and Puzzles Solutions. Okay, so that's the content. Let's get cracking. There's a lot to see in this annual. So here we go. When I was growing up in Canada, I remember catching a few episodes of the Hartnell Doctor on our old black and white television. They made quite an impression, but nothing compared to the Doctor Who Annuals, which a lovely aunt sent us from England. Those wonderful books with the haunting covers were formative in creating a rich imagination world for me, and were part of the reason I so came to love the written word. And if I may use that word again, I think it's wonderful that after a long absence, the Doctor Who Annual lives again. Long may it be so. Andrew Cartmel. Okay, so the first story is Every Doctor Has His Day, and this is a full story with colour illustrations. And it's 2, 4, 6, 8 pages, and then we go on to the next story, which is The Enemy Within, and that again is a full story with colour illustrations. And it's 4, 6, 8 pages. And then we come on to Behind the Scenes of the BBC Visual Effects Department, Special Effects, A Castle Fit for a Rani. And that's making the Rani's castle in Time and the Rani. And that runs for 3 pages. Then we come on to the next story, which is Deep Fear, which is the 7th Doctor and Ace story. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. And then we've got Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension, and it tells you who is the Doctor, and it's a 1, 2, and who is Ace, and that is 3 pages, 4 pages. And the next story is called Tiptoes, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages until we get on to the next one, which is Wicked Tales, featuring the Doctor and Ace again, I think. That might just be about the duel, the Doctor and the Ace. Then we come on to the next story, which is Lessons Learned, and again 2, 4, 6 pages. And then we come on to Paradise Towers Cleaning Unit Anatomy. And that gives you all the cleaning, the anatomy of that particular robot. Okay, and then the next story is Between a Rock and a Hard Place. And again, it's another full story, which is 2, 4, 6, 7 pages. And we got One Doctor, Seven Men, and that's all about the different faces of the Doctor, and that runs for 2 pages. And then we got The Powerful Professor of Zoo, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pages on that. Puzzle in Space, and that's a question and answer, multi-choice questions for you to answer, and the answers are on page 209. And then we got the Thread of Life, again another full story with illustrations, and that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. First Doctor in that one as well, 10 pages. And then we got Other Worlds Beyond the Annuals, and these are other books that was released back in the early days. So you got the Dalek painting book, Doctor Who Sticker Fun book, there's a Doctor Who colouring book, and the press out book, and Other Worlds here. And then we come into the next story, which is Family in Space, and that is 2, 4, 6, 8. Looks like Robbie the Robot, doesn't it? 10, 11 pages on that one. And then we're on to the next story, which is Here Be Dragons, behind the scenes with BBC Visual Effects Department, and that's obviously from Dragonfire. That shows you how all the models are being made. And then we've got the next story, which is One Chance Out Between Two Worlds, and that's 2, 4, good artwork this one, 6, 8, 9 pages. So Hello Sweet Tea, that looks like a little comic strip, which is just 2 pages long, and it's a comedy comic strip by the looks of things. Then we've got Temporal Shadows, and that looks like a story, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we got the 5th Doctor and Perry in there. 6, 7. And then we come on to Dominic Link, He's in Time. And that's all about, well, Doctor Who, basically, runs for 3 pages. Palace of Bones, another story, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good artwork in this one as well. 10 pages on that one. The Mystery Message. Now, we used to get these in the standard annuals, so you have to hold I think it's a mirror to it to read the word properly. The top half and the bottom half is there, so there we are. And then we're on to the next story, which is Dead Man's Hand, and that again is 2, 4, 6 pages. And we come on to another little comic strip, which is called Campfire Burning, and this is a black and white comic strip story, which runs for 2, 4, 6, 8 pages by the looks of that. Yep. And then we come on to Ash Harry, which is another story, which is 2, 4, 6 pages before we come in The Master of Riddles, aka Die Doctor Die, and that's all riddles for you to figure out. And the next story is The Doctor and Nurse, and that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 pages. The Labyrinth Landrax, which is a puzzle for you to work out. Doctor and Ace need to get back to the TARDIS. And then we got The Invasion of Randall, and that is 2, 4, 6, 7 pages. Tim Quinn and Dickie Howart's Funnies, and that's all jokes. And then we're on to a Polycyrus, which is another story, and that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 pages. And then we're on to Mags and Me, and it's all about Mags from the Greatest Show on Earth. And then we got Was Tis, and that's I think it's all based on Tis Was. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's Chris Tarrant there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then we come to Hunter and Hunted, A Mag's Tale. And that is obviously 2, 3 pages. And it's got Puzzle Solutions, Puzzle in Space, Mystery Messages, and Master of Riddles, and the Maze. And then that brings us to the end of the annual. Okay, quite a long annual, over 200 pages in this annual, which is a lot more pages than you used to get in the World Distributors Official annuals, so a good size annual. Okay, now, how did they do when released in 2020? Well, to be perfectly honest with you, they were produced by a fan-based company, so there wasn't a massive amount of advertising. I think they were those self-published books that you can do online. So there wasn't a massive amount that was produced. Not advertised greatly. So I really don't think they've done particularly well. Although the die-hard fans that follow everything would have known about these annuals and would have been online to buy them when they first knew that they came out, as I was. I've got my own copies of all of these missing annuals, and they're in my collection. But yeah, so I don't think they've done as well as what we really should expect these annuals to have done when they was available. Okay, well, it's only 5 years ago, so we'll move forward 5 years now. And do these annuals come up very often on the platforms? And the answer to that is no, they don't. And I'm guessing that's because of the low quantities that were sold originally. It's a shame, really, because there's some very good content in these annuals. And they do have quite a feel of the classic annuals. Although a lot bigger, you get a lot more value for money in these annuals than you got in your World Distributor ones. But even so, maybe the content is perhaps... No, it's got a real strong Doctor Who feel. There's no doubt about that. Maybe the artwork is not perhaps as good as what you would expect in the Doctor Who annuals, but even so, it's still very good in most of them. Some of them it's a little bit suspect, but in most of the stories it's very, very good artwork. So my opinion, still a fantastic annual and a lovely one to have in your collection to complete those missing years. But they don't come up for sale very often on the platforms. I did have a quick look on the platforms. I couldn't find this one at all. So whether anybody's ever sold one of these on the platforms or not, I do not know, but I couldn't find one anywhere. But so there we are, not very often and very, very collectible. However, we at Midas Touch, we have done it again, and we have managed to find all of the unofficial Doctor Who annuals, and they are all available on the Midas Touch website. Now, these were part of a shop find. One of the owners of the shops was very partial to Doctor Who, and over the years, whenever he had annuals come in, he would keep one to one side, put them in a box, put them in the stock room, and there they stayed. He didn't do anything with them apart from save them for himself, and never even took them home, never even read them. So, but was a fan, so he just decided to keep one. And when these come out, he also ordered, or I don't know whether he ordered them or they came into his shop to sell, but he kept one of each of these annuals for himself as well, and they went in the same box. And when they retired, we were fortunate enough to go in, this is just after COVID, and buy out all their stock, and this complete box of annuals, not just Doctor Who, but there's lots of other annuals in there. We were fortunate enough to be able to buy out all of their stock, and that box of annuals was included, and these unofficial Doctor Who annuals were actually in that box. So, mint condition annual, as mint as you will possibly find it these days, and it was completely unread until we've opened it and gone through it today on this video. And this annual, as of now, is available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Doctor Who items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website, and there will be something for everybody. And I'm absolutely positive this is something that you will not want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there is something in particular you're looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories. Well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know, the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful unofficial Doctor Who annual from 1989. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.